What's up guy? Sarah here. Welcome back to Sarah Review. I am your host on Review and Test. There's been a large uptick in laptop sales as of late. I don't know if you've noticed, but due to the global pandemic that's been going on, it does seem like a lot more people who are picking up laptops, but with so many options out on the market, we need to know what is a defective use of our money, which is why I decided to go on Amazon and find the best-selling budget laptop that they had and check it out myself to see if it's worth for you to pick it up, which is why we're reviewing the Acer Aspire 5 Slim today and checking it out. So the Acer Aspire 5 Slim is the best-selling laptop on Amazon according to Amazon's own ranking system at the time that we're filming this video. It goes for a pretty lower and $350 price tag. However, it has the same specs as a laptop we talked about a couple of weeks ago, the Motel 14-inch performance laptop from Walmart. This thing actually went for $200 when I picked it up back in November and currently sells for $290, so there is a $60 price difference between these two. Is there enough of a reason to buy this over buying something like this from Walmart? And I just want to say this upfront. Obviously, I'm talking about this being priced at $350 due to the current pandemic situation and people buying up laptops. It goes in and out of stock, as does the Motel. The Acer Aspire 5 right now, as of today when I'm filming, is going between $500 and $600, which is absolutely ludicrous. You shouldn't spend $500 to $600 on this laptop. However, when I bought it a couple days ago, it was $350, and I expect that it will eventually come back in stock sometime soon and remain one of Amazon's best sellers. So if you're looking at the price right now as you're watching that, just know that stock may be limited at this very moment. So let's go ahead and just do a quick overview of the specs. We do have the Ryzen 3 3200U. We have 4 GB of DDR4 RAM rated at 2400 MHz. We have 128 GB NVMe SSD, a 15.6-inch IPS panel, and it comes with a 47 watt-hour battery, which in my testing was good for over 6 hours of normal use and roughly 8 hours of battery mode, trying to preserve it lower brightness, making sure that I'm just doing the minimal amount of tasks at about 8 hours on this laptop with that, which is actually slightly better than the Motel 14-inch. And obviously, due to those specs, you can see that the biggest difference between these two is the size of the screen. The 15.6-inch screen is slightly bigger than the 14-inch screen on the Motel. However, that does come at a cost of the quality of the chassis. The Acer Aspire is slightly flimsy. It's nothing that's gonna actually bother you if you haven't had something to compare it to, but it is of slightly looser structure than the 14-inch. However, the construction quality is fine. It's made out of aluminum. It's sturdy as you need it to be. The hinges aren't too frail. Nothing about this screams that it's a budget laptop, which is good if that's what you want on the lower end side of things. I think the cheapest thing about this laptop that bothers me the most is the fact that the stickers that they put on for the AMD graphics are skew. That bothers me quite a bit. However, that's kind of where the bothers really stopped. Obviously, there's a $60 price difference between the two, but they perform really identical. They're great for browsing the web, making sure that you're doing things in Chrome, you're using Google Docs, anything like that. They're nearly identical in gaming. Also the sync can average roughly 42 FPS and Valorant can get about 48 FPS and Fortnite, which is all you need to play basic IT sports games. It'll do the job for just light gaming. You're playing Roblox or something like that. This will get the job done. It does have a little bit less I/O than the Motil. On the left side we have the power, the Ethernet, HDMI, USB 2.0, a USB 3.0 and a headset jack, and then on the right side we only have a USB 2.0 and then the Kensington lock. It doesn't have as many USB 3.0 options, and it doesn't have a Type-C, and it doesn't have a micro SD card reader like the Motil does. However, it's still a decent amount of I/O for a $350 laptop. But the real surprise for this is what's under the hood. It's actually remarkably simple to just unscrew everything, pop open the bottom chassis, and then you have access to all the internal components. This is what I want to see on cheap laptops. Everything is out there in the open, which is a good thing because this Acer Aspire has a feature that the Motil doesn't, which is a dual-channel memory configuration that you can possibly upgrade to. Either you can spend the money up front and getting more expensive than this $350 model and get to RAM sticks, which is going to help your Ryzen 3 perform better, or you have the option of upgrading down the line for up to 32 GB, whereas the Motil could only do one stick of 16. This has more future-proof room in it for you to actually get a better system. Overall, down the line there's more upgrade path, and also there's room for an extra 2.5-inch SSD or hard drive in there if you find that the 128 GB isn't meeting your standards. However, you could also upgrade that 128 GB, so both the Motil and the Acer have room for 2 storage drives, but only the Acer has room for 2 sticks of RAM, which is gonna help that Ryzen 3 perform better when you do finally want to upgrade to that. Then let's go ahead and talk about its use case for video conferencing from home using the webcam. In the mic, the webcam is actually have surprisingly okay quality and decent lighting. I look much better than I did on the Motil, which is very good. The audio obviously not great, still very tinny sounding. However, it doesn't suffer from the same issue of Motil where the clicks on the touchpad were very noticeable, or things like the keyboard were very loud. It actually isolates the sound pretty decently, so a much better webcam and microphone setup than the cheaper Motil. Now let's go ahead and talk about the keyboard and the touchpad. Touchpad's fine, nothing to write home about. Doesn't have dedicated click buttons. It doesn't not work, so that's always good. It's like a simple part of a laptop. It should just work in it more or less does that. The keyboard is fine. It's a mushy chiclet key style thing. It types perfectly fine, has a white backlight. However, the thing that I probably have to disagree with on the keyboard is the fact that they tried to squish a numpad into this 15.6-inch frame, which doesn't work. They have some extra room where they could potentially elongate it to give you that extra 4th row of keys on the numpad, but they chose not to do that. You don't have the extra 4th row, which bothers me. It's just a squished numpad. I preferred, because I type from muscle memory, I want to have that extra little space on the edge. Otherwise I would just rather it's not included whatsoever, and I'll buy an adapter later on down the line, so that might come to personal preference. But the keyboard works more or less as you would expect it to. But then let's talk About the worst thing about this laptop, which is suppose isn't so bad because you can actually fix it, and that's the bloatware that comes pre-installed. It was one of my highlights in the Motio review. And that's the fact that this hardly had anything installed on it. It was just the THX Sound app, which did help to change some of the speaker profiles. This thing comes loaded with a lot more. You've got all of a served bloatware, you've got a Booking.com link, you got an Amazon link. You have several gigabytes of add-ons that are already included on the laptop from boot up, which you just don't need. And the worst thing about it is that it starts off in Windows S mode, which prevents you from installing apps that you download from the web, such as basically any normal app that you want to get. You're forced to either go through the Windows Store, which I absolutely hate, or you're forced to go through the Windows Store to get the free unlock for the S mode so that you can use Windows 10 fully. It's a system that I don't like, I don't appreciate, I don't understand why S mode exists. Maybe that's just me, and this is for other people who need more protection. I, however, think that Windows S mode is just a hindrance to people who would think that they can't install things because they don't know how to unlock Windows S mode to go into full Windows 10. It's a downside, however it's all fixable, and that leads me to the conclusion: is the Acer Aspire V Slim actually worth it? Well, that depends on who you are and what your plans are for the laptop. If you do not plan on upgrading ever, then no, the Acer Aspire V Slim is not the best value low-end laptop that you can get on the market. That would still go to the Motorola from Walmart. However, if you're looking to upgrade down the line, the Acer Aspire 5 has more to it that actually lends itself to being better over long-term use. You can upgrade to 32 gigabytes of RAM if that ever becomes a necessity. You also have storage drive increases. It's really that dual-channel RAM upgrade that makes me think that this could even be worth that $60 price jump on the Aspire 5. $60 is still like 18 to 20% of a price increase over the Motel. However, if you need a slightly bigger screen, it's there, it's justified. I would personally go with the Motel between these two, because if I'm buying a Ryzen 3200U laptop right now, I could see myself upgrading the entire laptop later on down the line, because that APU is really the bottleneck, and even upgrading to channel RAM might only get you so far, whereas upgrading to a Ryzen 3500U might be a better bang for your buck switch than just getting one with dual channel capacity. That's gonna be the end of this video. Let me know what you think of the Aspire 5 down below in the video comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. That's gonna be it. I'm Sarah with Review Channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.